my dad to ask him if he could make 2 more. I ended up with one of them, the St. Francis. And the reason I know that it was one of the 4th ones that he made, it was either the 3rd or 4th one that he made. I don't know if you guys remember Mrs. Stedman. She was a painter. You remember her, right? And a real famous painter. She had the first one, and I think one of her daughters or sons has it now. And I don't know who got the second one, but this lady, Miss Schmidt, she was one of the ones that bought the 3rd or 4th one, and her niece called me one day to go see a tree in Tesuque and see if I wanted the tree, and I told her, sure, I'll go look at it. And I go, yeah, I'll take the tree. It was a big cottonwood, and she invited me in the house, and I saw that St. Francis. I go, wow, that's one of my dad's, the old ones. And she goes, yeah, my aunt bought it, Miss Schmidt. And I go, I remember her, And the only reason I remember her is because I'm a car guy, and she used to drive a '63 Chevy, real little, you could just see her there. And I go, I remember your aunt. She had that '63 Chevy. Yeah, that's her. So I told her, if you ever want to sell it or trade it, let me know. And she goes, no, I like it and I want to look at it. Still there. And about 10, 12 years went by, and I get this phone call, and she goes, Pete, you still want to trade for that carving, your dad's carving? And I go, what carving? I didn't even remember anymore. And she goes, I'm the lady in Tesuque that gave you the tree. And I go, oh, yeah, sure, And she came over to the house, and I had some pieces there, and I would have gave her all of them for it, And she took like 7 pieces to give to her nieces. So that made me happy, that I was making them happy, and they were making me happy too. So that piece gave a big circle, there's a big story to that piece. But just like Martha said, my greatest thing is making people happy, and I've been blessed that people like my work, and it's ha sido una bendición. And it all started con mi papá, el jefito, como le decíamos, el jefe. We used to call him el jefe, and behind my mom's back, we used to call her jefita. She didn't like that. We used to call her jefa, but if she caught you calling her jefa, I don't care what she had in her hand. You're getting whacked with that, So we were real careful not to call her, and she's the one that controlled us all there, and kept us in line. We were 5 boys and always making messes there in the house. My dad was a boxer in the army, so he brought us up all boxing and stuff. So we'd make rings there at the house and box with our cousins and everything. It was a real happy childhood growing up there in Tesuque. We were real poor, so when my dad started getting well known, it was really a blessing to all of us. And I just love seeing people's faces and making them happy. That's my biggest pleasure of this blessing that my dad gave us. And again, thank you for inviting me. And I didn't bring nothing really, just my girlfriend, my beautiful girlfriend. So I guess that's it. Thank you very much for having me.
We've just heard 2 birth stories of some amazing forms of folk art. Thank you both.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to introduce you to my cousin Emily Trujillo. Emily is, as I had mentioned before, is the daughter of the award-winning Rio Grande Chimayo weavers. Her mother, Lisa Rockwood Trujillo, and Irvin Trujillo of Chimayo. And I just wanted to say, how many times have I gotten together with my cousin Patricia, the historian of New Mexico, where us Chimayosos talk about where are the younger people that are going to be growing our Chimayo chili? Where is the younger generation that's going to carry on the traditions of our heritage and our culture? I mean, those are important things, especially, the chili and the weaving. And so here's our answer. Emily.
Hi, my name is Emily, as I said. I'm Urban and Lisa Trujillo's daughter. Just starting out, because it's very important to me, contrary to popular belief, I'm actually 25. I'm not 16. I just want to throw that out there. Because it's important when I say. So she already told you guys that I have a degree in anthropology and psychology, with my focuses in human neuropsychology and ethnology. So basically I know a lot about people, and that's actually been important. It's really cool. But anyway, tangents already this early. So yeah, I grew up actually, I didn't have any interest in any of this whatsoever, because until I was 23, which I call it my 23-year teenage rebellion, I had no interest. I was actually very adverse. Everyone as a kid, I grew up in the shop, you know, the house was right next door, and everyone would just say, oh, you're going to start weaving, you take over the business, and me, until I was 23, would say, never, don't tell me what to do, you're not my real mom. So that was my attitude for the longest time, and I still tease my mom with that one all the time, actually. She's the only person I really love saying that to. But anyway, so when I turned 23 is when I switched to a double major and started really learning about culture, and I took quite a few classes on heritage. And at that point in time, it was just, you know, a lot of cultures dying, talked a lot about globalization. And I grew up in a situation where I was watching so many people give my parents so much respect, and I took it for granted until then. And I really realized how much it meant to me and how cool they are. Both my parents are amazing, and they have pieces in museums all over the world. I got to travel to Washington, D.C. when my dad won the National Heritage Fellowship. I got to travel to a museum opening in Kansas City when I was, I think I was 15. And so now looking back, it's pretty exciting. I'm like, oh my gosh, my family's so cool, but don't let them hear me say that. I still don't want them to know that, so cover your ears, avert your eyes, look away. Anyway, so I did grow up. I got to fool around in the irrigation ditches. I used to love mud. Mud pies were some of the first things I ever tried baking. It didn't actually go so well. They weren't edible. Don't try them. I'm still not very good at it. But regardless. So I got to do that. I tried irrigating. My dad let me drive the tractor. It was probably a bad idea. I drove us right into a ditch the first time. And after that, he was a little more adverse to letting me drive and more letting me sit on his lap and pretend that I was driving. And but it was still a good experience. It was still a lot of fun. Also, I just want to say that I never actually got to meet my grandfather. So the sixth generation, who I'm sure that a lot of you actually got to meet, I never got to meet because he died, I think, 2 or 3 years before I was born. And it's very unfortunate. But I've gotten to hear a lot of stories about him, and also my grandma, and so well, I didn't really grow up in that kind of Hispanic, really welcoming family, feed everyone culture. I got to hear a lot of stories about it. And now I'm hearing more. I'm really enjoying it. If anyone wants to hear adorable stories, I'm so happy to tell them. They sound absolutely adorable and loving. But anyway, so my experience right now is I am focusing on learning everything I possibly can. I grew up collecting dyes. There's actually a picture of me when I was 3 years old at a dye vat that was bigger than me with my stick, holding it like this, trying to stir a dye vat. It's in black and white. It looks very majestic. It's on the wall, actually. And so I grew up around that. I grew up watching my mom spin and making fun of her when a tiny little lump. She's actually master at that, but I would make fun of her because I was a kid. Still do that, I'm not gonna lie. I still do that all the time. I'm very obnoxious. She's very patient. Very, very patient, stressing that. It is a blessing that she is still here. But, so now I'm learning how to spin. They actually bribed me. I really like watching cartoons, and so she bribed me to spin yarn. I actually was magically good at it because I did a lot of plying for my father when I was a kid. He paid me $5 an hour, which now I know is not actually a working wage. But look at me not knowing these things until I went outside. You know, those things happen. But so I learned how to spin. I'm actually learning how to dye yarn. I did a lot of rinsing because I like to play in the water, so my dad would let me rinse. And now looking back, I actually learned a lot. I picked up a lot just from kind of existing in the shop, growing up with my parents and family just popping in. It wasn't ever really planned. You would just have random family showing up. Victor, who is my cousin, he pops in all the time without telling anyone, hey, I didn't really know you were going to be here, but it's a pleasure. So, yeah, and I get to educate. By the way, this is completely impromptu. I was really hoping I didn't get to go first, or didn't have to go first, rephrase, because I wasn't sure what everyone else was going to talk about. So this is completely impromptu. I was ready to talk about, the generations of old, which I would still talk about if anyone wants to hear about it. Like 1700s is when my family came to this area, to the Chimayo area. They'd been there, 8 generations of weaving. Originally it was purely utilitarian, yada yada, there's a lot, 1800s. Whatever. Okay, there's a lot. Come to the shop. We will be so happy. This is advertising, like shamelessly. Come to the shop. We will tell you everything you want to know. My dad is an amazing man. I have so much respect for him. Also, my mother, she is also a master artist. She does not get nearly as much attention because she is married into the family, but she also knows a lot and would be happy to educate all of you. So come by. Hopefully you'll buy something, sell the house, you'll be able to afford it. At least some of it. That's my strategy. Anyway, so right now you can see some of my pieces. I want to grab, this is one that I'm actually really proud of. I'm still learning, as I said. I want to stress that because I'm not very confident in my work, much like my father, who is the most humble person on the entire planet, by the way. This is my favorite because I still am rebellious, and my dad says, nobody ever buys cerise. It's so hard to make work. So I waited for him to go on his lunch break, found the most screaming pink that he would hate, and I made a whole bunch of spools, and I started this piece. And it actually sold. The moment it was put on the website, someone bought it. It was actually my friend. So, and then it was ridiculous. So she lets me use it. I borrow it. I called it, "Can you take me seriously now, Dad?" That's cerise right there. I really like puns. And then I continued to make other pieces with that color just to spite him. It was a good time. But so that's kind of my artwork. I like to make it pop, and I really hope that I can continue. I'm receiving a lot of praise and attention. I really appreciate all of it. I am incredibly insecure. If you ever talk to me, I say sorry more than anyone should. My friends actually started a sorry jar. It's actually like my dad, and they make me put a penny in there. It's every time I say sorry, they put a penny in, but it's only a penny because I would go completely broke after 2 weeks. So it's only a penny. Just stressing that. But yeah, I really hope that you guys appreciate our work. Come by the shop. If you gave me a chance to actually get to talk to you, that would also be cool. I need the practice of public speaking. As you notice, I'm staring more at these lovely tiles that don't get appreciated enough, rather than making eye contact with you. So, it would be really great practice. It would be lovely to meet all of you. I'm still trying to get to know everyone. I don't really get to know my cousins. So if you come by, I would love to talk to you. I've seen you before, but I'm not as interesting as your father. So yeah, it's also new to public speaking. So this is maybe my 3rd time giving a talk in front of people that wasn't purely about a research paper. Like, let's talk about synapses, your frontal lobe, let's talk about your cerebral cortex, I got this. Then it's, watching stuff that my father and my mother I grew up watching them talk about it and be so impressive. I will never actually feel like I'm a master artist, which I'm not. I've been doing all of tapestry and taking this seriously for a little over a year now. But one day I hope to at least be almost as impressive, maybe, possibly, if I try real hard as my parents. Wish me luck. Fingers crossed. Lord be praised. I got tired after all this. Very nervous. Thank you for being patient. I don't know if there's anything else I should talk about, or is that
Any questions?
Oh yeah, do you have any questions? Yes.
So Emily, last week Maria and I stopped by the shop, and your dad was showing us some of your work, and he made a special comment of some very difficult weaving that you do that was asymmetric.
Aw, Dad.
He said, maybe you want to say something about that, because I had never seen that before.
My asymmetry. So I grew up doing every single other art form, including Scotch tape sculptures, because I didn't want to weave. I really did. I knitted, I painted with watercolors, I did everything. In high school I did a lot of black and white drawings with pen in my free time. and that really gave me a sense of design and filling up space and working with colors and things like that. So I luckily had that head start, which gives me a sense of tapestry, and right now it's just me actually getting the technique down, because I don't really, they're my mentors, they're teaching me, but I'm also a really terrible listener, because I said, don't tell me what to do, you're not my real mom. I say that on a regular basis, because I don't like being told what to do. So it's, yeah, I would hope that all that year of hard work would go into my asymmetry, and also my fight to be completely different from everyone else, because it's really hard. I want to make my parents proud. And honestly, I just want to throw in one more thing. As you can tell, I really love my parents. I'm very proud of them and very honored to be her daughter, or their daughter. It's they're amazing, and they are the only people that would ever say, because I actually had an internship. I graduated with my degree, and then I had an internship at UCSD actually in radiology, neuroradiology, and when I told them, I don't think I'm going to do that internship, I want to weave, they were the only parents who would say, that's awesome! Oh my gosh, you want to be an artist? That's so cool! They were the only ones who would want to say that, even though my dad was saying, I went to high school in Los Alamos, so my dad, he wanted to make sure that I had an out if I didn't want to be in Shemai, and he assumed that I never would. Everyone did actually. I never thought I'd come back either, but you could tell young Emily that now and she would laugh at you. I kind of forgot what I was talking about. I looked at that tile and thought it was very beautiful. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Hold on, I want a closing statement. Let me see. What's an interesting fact? Oh yeah, my dad is very humble, and he's like, oh, you could have done something else. You could have done anything else. Don't come back here. You know, secretly on the inside, he's all excited about it. It's nice, and I'm really happy that I'm getting to carry this on, and that's actually why I'm here. Is I need to make sure that someone, even if I don't do it professionally, which is actually what I decided to do with my life, that it will at least get carried on. Because Victor is actually the same generation as I am, by the way. I'm just really young. He came by and was going to learn to weave, but he has an adult life. So, Victor, I'm guilt tripping you right now. You didn't even know that I cut your pieces off the loom, and you can go look at it's Beaker is a punk rocker was on your loom. Just throwing that out there. Cough, cough, keep me company. Anyway, any other questions that could be answered in a short amount of time?
I think you could be a stand-up comedian in your spare time.
Thank you, but the problem with stand-up comedian is I'm ready to pass out and it has the word stand up in it. And that's difficult for me. But
sit-down comedian.
Sit-down comedian. I can cross my legs majestically and that'll work. Thank you, though. Aww. Thank you.
Very good.
How about our young generation who are going to be continuing?